The 2005 National Electrical Code, specifically Section 422.31a, addresses disconnecting means for appliances. This section stipulates that the disconnecting means must be located within sight from the controller location. When controllers are situated outdoors, the disconnecting means should be within sight of the controller or be capable of being locked in the open position. However, there is an exception to this rule. The exception states that for motor controllers equipped with integral disconnect and overload protection, listed for use in accordance with NEC Section 430.110, general use snap switches, push buttons, or circuit breakers are permitted to serve as the disconnecting means. The key here lies in the presence of integral disconnect and overload protection within the appliance itself. If the appliance incorporates this protection and is listed according to Section 430.110, the typical requirements for a dedicated disconnect switch located near the appliance may be waived. In your specific situation, involving an endless hot water heater that uses 430 amp 2-pole breakers within a 200 amp panel located 5 feet from the water heater, the applicability of this exception becomes crucial. Since the endless hot water heater is said to possess integral disconnect and overload protection, the circuit breakers in the 200 amp panel could potentially function as the disconnecting means. However, several critical conditions must be satisfied to validate this configuration under the National Electrical Code. Firstly, the circuit breakers must be of the general use type. This implies that they should be standard circuit breakers suitable for general electrical applications and not specialized types designed for specific purposes. Secondly, these circuit breakers must be listed for use in accordance with NEC Section 430.110. This listing signifies that the breakers meet the standards and requirements outlined in that particular section of the code, which pertains to motor circuits and motor controllers. Finally, the panel housing the circuit breakers must be situated within sight of the water heater. This proximity ensures that the breakers are readily accessible and visible from the location of the water heater, allowing for convenient disconnection in case of maintenance or emergencies. It's important to note that an inspector may have cited a different section of the National Electrical Code mandating the disconnecting means to be positioned within 6 feet of the water heater. While such requirements may exist in other sections, Section 422.31a, along with its exception, offers an alternative approach if the aforementioned conditions are met. To address the discrepancy, it is recommended to communicate with the inspector and clarify your interpretation of the code. Explain how the endless hot water heater incorporates integral disconnect and overload protection and how the circuit breakers comply with the criteria specified in Section 422.31a. If the inspector remains unconvinced, seeking a second opinion from a qualified electrician could provide further clarity and validation of your configuration. The electrician can assess the installation, review the relevant code sections, and offer a professional judgment on whether the setup meets the requirements of the National Electrical Code. Furthermore, documenting all aspects of the installation, including the manufacturer's specifications for the water heater, the listing information for the circuit breakers, and the proximity of the panel to the water heater, can bolster your case. These documents can serve as evidence to support your interpretation of the code and demonstrate compliance with the applicable regulations. The NEC, or National Electrical Code, is a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines that govern the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. It's designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect the latest advancements in electrical technology and safety practices. Understanding the NEC is crucial for electricians, contractors, and anyone involved in electrical work. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It's important to consult the NEC when planning or performing any electrical work to ensure that it meets the required safety standards. In addition to the NEC, local jurisdictions may have their own electrical codes and regulations. These local codes may be more stringent than the NEC and must also be followed. It's important to check with your local building department or electrical inspector to determine the specific codes and regulations that apply to your area. When interpreting the NEC, it's important to consider the context of the specific section or article. The NEC is a complex document, and some sections may be open to interpretation. If you're unsure about the meaning of a particular section, it's best to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector. They can provide guidance and clarification to ensure that your electrical work complies with the code. It's also important to keep in mind that the NEC is not a design manual. It provides minimum safety standards, but doesn't dictate how to design an electrical system. Electrical design requires specialized knowledge and skills and should be performed by a qualified electrical engineer or designer. Electrical safety is paramount. Always follow safe work practices when working with electricity. To energize circuits before working on them, use appropriate personal protective equipment, and never work in wet or damp conditions. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. Regular electrical inspections can help identify potential hazards and ensure that your electrical system is safe and up to code. Schedule regular inspections with a qualified electrician to maintain the safety of your home or building. Remember, electricity is a powerful force that can be dangerous if not handled properly. By following the NEC and safe work practices, you can protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. In the context of the endless hot water heater, several factors need to be considered to ensure compliance with electrical codes. Firstly, the size of the circuit breakers must be appropriate for the load of the water heater. The manufacturer's specifications for the water heater will indicate the required amperage for each heating element. The circuit breakers must be sized to handle this amperage, with some additional capacity for safety. Secondly, the wiring used to connect the water heater to the circuit breakers must be of the correct gauge. The gauge of the wire is determined by the amperage of the circuit and the distance of the run. Using undersized wiring can lead to overheating and potentially a fire. Thirdly, the water heater must be properly grounded. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electrical shock. The grounding conductor must be properly connected to the water heater and to the electrical panel. Fourthly, the installation of the water heater must comply with all applicable building codes and regulations. This may include requirements for ventilation, clearances, and other safety measures. It's important to consult with your local building department to ensure that your installation meets all the necessary requirements. Fifthly, the water heater should be installed by a qualified electrician. An electrician has the knowledge and experience to properly install the water heater and ensure that it complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Attempting to install the water heater yourself without the proper training and experience can be dangerous and may result in a non-compliant installation. In addition to the electrical requirements, there may also be plumbing requirements for the installation of the water heater. These requirements may include the use of specific types of piping, fittings, and valves. It's important to consult with a qualified plumber to ensure that the plumbing installation meets all the necessary requirements. Regular maintenance of the water heater is essential to ensure its safe and efficient operation. This may include flushing the tank to remove sediment, inspecting the heating elements, and checking the temperature and pressure relief valve. Consult the manufacturer's instructions for specific maintenance recommendations. If you notice any problems with your water heater, such as leaks, unusual noises, or a lack of hot water, it's important to have it inspected by a qualified technician. Ignoring these problems can lead to more serious damage and potentially hazardous conditions. Replacing an old or inefficient water heater with a new, energy-efficient model can save you money on your energy bills and reduce your environmental impact. When choosing a new water heater, consider the size of your household, your hot water usage, and the available fuel sources. There are many different types of water heaters available, including tankless water heaters, heat pump water heaters, and solar water heaters. Each type has its own advantages and disadvantages, so it's important to do your research to find the best option for your needs. Remember, electrical safety is paramount when working with water heaters. Always disconnect the power to the water heater before performing any maintenance or repairs. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your endless hot water heater is installed and operated safely and efficiently. The importance of proper electrical installation cannot be overstated. Faulty wiring, incorrect breaker sizing, or improper grounding can lead to a range of hazards, including electrical shocks, fires, and equipment damage. Hiring a qualified electrician is an investment in your safety and the protection of your property. A qualified electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform electrical work safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. They will also be able to identify potential hazards and recommend solutions to mitigate those risks. When choosing an electrician, it's important to verify their credentials and experience. Make sure they are licensed and insured, and ask for references from previous clients. A reputable electrician will be happy to provide this information. It's also a good idea to get multiple quotes from different electricians before making a decision. This will allow you to compare prices and services and choose the electrician that best meets your needs. Don't be afraid to ask questions and express your concerns. A good electrician will be able to answer your questions clearly and concisely and will take the time to address your concerns. They should also be willing to explain the work that needs to be done and provide you with a written estimate. Once you've chosen an electrician, make sure they obtain all the necessary permits before starting the work. Permits are required for most electrical work and ensure that the work is inspected by a qualified electrical inspector. This helps to ensure that the work is done safely and in compliance with the code. During the electrical work, stay out of the work area and avoid interfering with the electrician. Let them do their job safely and efficiently. If you have any questions or concerns, wait until the electrician is finished working before approaching them. After the electrical work is completed, the electrician should provide you with a certificate of completion. This document certifies that the work has been done in accordance with the code and that it has been inspected and approved. Keep this document in a safe place, as it may be required for insurance purposes or when selling your property. Regular electrical inspections are essential to maintain the safety of your home or building. Schedule regular inspections with a qualified electrician to identify potential hazards and ensure that your electrical system is up to code. An electrical inspection can help to detect problems such as loose wiring, damaged insulation, and overloaded circuits. These problems can be corrected before they lead to more serious hazards. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. By working together with a qualified electrician and following safe work practices, you can protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. The information provided here is intended for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician before performing any electrical work. Remember, electricity is a powerful force that can be dangerous if not handled properly. Take the necessary precautions to protect yourself and others from electrical hazards.